Hey guys, I'm Captain Mitchell Duggar from Key West, Florida. I'm down here in Southern California to put together a series of fly casting videos to help some clients of mine. I'm going to be covering everything from the basics to troubleshooting for the more advanced caster. Hope you enjoy. A good thing to look at in this shot as he's doing this is watch how far that rod tip drops back in the back cast on a couple of those, and also how he kind of swings it around his body. It's just inconsistent with where that back cast is coming in. You want to try to think your back cast is coming back and poking a hole in the sky, not necessarily dropping flat to the earth. So on lance, we need to work on bringing that rod tip up higher in that back cast and dropping the forward cast down a little bit. You can see how that rod tip tries to arc in there, and it's causing him to cross his body and bring it around because he doesn't have confidence in the cast because it's hitting on the front and the back. Poke a hole in the sky, Lance. Much better. See how that rod tip came up? Now the rod tips are a little more even. You drop that one flat in there and you see how sloppy that line gets as it's coming forward. Poke a hole in the sky. That's it. All right, Lance, go ahead and set it down. Are you getting fatigued at all?
A little bit.
Okay, it's looking like you are a little bit, and let me show you a couple of reasons why. A lot of times when you're picking up that line, as we're looking for in this next shot, you have a tendency when you pick up not having confidence in the rod, so you put too much of yourself in there. And what I mean by that is as you're coming back, you have a tendency to lay this rod in way behind, okay? So you're really swinging for the fences here. When you lay this rod tip flat, we no longer have a load or a bend in the rod. That has nothing to do with the height above the grass or above the water, okay? It has to do with the angle of the rod. When you come back in here and drop this thing flat, we've lost all load in there. So now we're starting from the beginning, and it makes it a little bit sloppier as it comes forward. Then you try to overcorrect by bringing that thing around your body.
That's when I bring it off the water?
Exactly, when you're bringing it off the water, especially on that when you first lift up off of that, off the water. But just for right now, just for practice, remember when you come back, it's poking a hole in the sky and delivering that fly forward. So we need to tighten up these rod angles, keep that thing back, and you can see the height of those rod angles going back and forward, keeping that thing in off of that right side and delivering it down, okay? I want you to go back there and kind of stand behind the camera, and I want to show you guys a couple things. One thing that Lance needs to work on a little bit is his initial pickup and then how the next cast in the sequence kind of work out. Lance has a tendency when he comes back, and especially on the water and even in this grass, to come back with a big ripper that comes back here and lays that rod flat. When we lay that rod flat, we lose a lot of the load in that rod. So coming forward, we're initially going to just kind of get sloppy as it comes in and not deliver that fly the way that we want it to. So what I suggest, what people think about doing as a visual, is come back and poking a hole in the sky. And what I mean by that is if we come back and we poke a hole in the sky, I'm keeping that rod tip up at a higher angle, and that has to do with the cuteness of the angle, not necessarily the distance above the water. So when I come back at that angle, I'm still keeping a bend or a load in that rod, so that way as I come forward and deliver that in on my right hip, the rod is loaded and then unloaded again. So what that looks like in real time is coming back, poking a hole in the sky, driving forward with that thumb. I'm in a fist fight here and I'm punching forward. When you come in and cross your body like this, you're now taking that rod off a plane in a different way. It's coming around your body like that. There's no way for me to come back and poke a hole in the sky without coming through my body. So on this angle when we're watching, we want to make sure that this right hand is staying out off the right side of our body. We're poking a hole in the sky, we're delivering that fly forward. Your best, most accurate shot is always lined up off your dominant hip. Now what we can see in that and where that goes wrong is two ways. We either drop that thing flat back on the back, so now we're not doing the poking the hole in the sky, or maybe we do that, but as we come forward and across our body, that's when things start getting sloppy. Most everybody tries to come in here, as that line kind of shoots and lays to the side, it's not falling over that load of that rod and delivering off of that right side. Not bad, but you can see how that line came in at a slight angle and his hand kind of landed in front of his hip and off the side of the hip. Set it down. Fantastic, line is straight, shot ended right off of that hip.